Talofa lover, and welcome to Measina Treasures of Samoa, where we amplify Samoan culture. Today we are doing a reaction video, so it's not really a reaction. Well, it is a reaction. So recently Blue TV on their Breaking Waves podcast released a part of a podcast, and it so it had quite a few issues with it. So I'm going to, I've already watched this, but I'm going to review it again and give my opinion as she speaks. So yes, make sure to like and subscribe. So now we're watching Hannah Schmidt.
I feel that the Samoans in New Zealand need to be humbled.
Okay, so what I enjoyed about this is that this podcast gives voice to young Samoans. There are 3 young Samoans featured in this podcast, and the great thing about it is it allows them to have their opinions heard and their voices heard.
Because majorly humbled when it comes to their culture. They're too entitled. Not all, a lot.
So not all, but a lot is pretty much just saying everyone. New Zealand Samoans need to be humbled. Historically, New Zealand Samoans are already being humbled by the white-centered systems that are already in place. They are already being humbled by being displaced. Not displaced, sorry, that's the wrong word. They are being humbled by growing up in a world where it is not their own. They are being humbled by racism. They are being humbled by wage gaps. They are being humbled by so many different things. So to say that they need to be humbled is a bit harsh to me, because I feel they're already down and out. But yeah, let's listen to what else they have to say.
Too entitled about what they should be gifted from culture and how they can express themselves culturally in other spaces, or they're having the need that I'm Samoan enough because of my blood.
Okay, so this part really resonated with me because it is a white-centered theory that our blood quantum dictates how much we are within a specific culture or a specific background. So when you do your DNA test, you get I'm 50% Tongan and 42% this, and we never had that when we grew up in Samoa. In ancient Samoa, there was no, you only have 2% blood in you, so you're not Samoan. Actually, there was nothing like that. We welcomed everyone, whether they were distant relatives or whether they were really close. They were all family and they were Samoan. So the blood quantum thing, I'm pretty sure I have something about this. I'll leave a video link up here. Something that needs to be addressed. It's a palangi thing. So the fact that you're trying to push that our people are not engaging with their culture, or they feel that they're entitled to their culture, and then you are using white theories to put them in their place, it kind of doesn't seem right. It's a bit hypocritical. Yeah, it doesn't match. Yeah, so you're saying you're not entitled to your Samoan culture because of your blood quantum, but you're using blood quantum, which is a white theory, to push them away from that. Doesn't make sense to me. Okay, next.
Like, I don't agree with that. Like, you are Samoan based on, yes, you are Samoan, but I could piss off and do whatever I want by myself. But what truly...
So, we're navigators. It's in our blood to travel. It's in our blood to move. It's in our blood to move around the world. We were not meant to stay in the one place. That is our home. We will come back to it. But navigators travel. We could piss off all by ourselves and still be Samoan. It's coming back and knowing who we are. Yeah. Your identity.
It makes you Samoan is how you serve your family and how you serve your village. So if you're not doing any of those things, but you're operating in spaces like climate...
Okay, so yes, Samoan culture is serving your family. It's understanding your language and your culture, but that doesn't make us Samoan. There are people who can speak fluent Samoan, and there are people who don't speak Samoan at all, and both of them could have been born and raised in Samoa, but their circumstances are different. And so trying to compare somebody from Samoa with somebody that was born overseas is like comparing an Gala apple to a Granny Smith apple. They're both apples, but they're both different. And they're going to be different because of the environment that they were brought up in. I grew up in Australia and had no connection to Samoan cultural anything. We went to some Palangi churches. We attended Palangi schools. The closest Samoans to us were like hours away. That is what people still face today. So trying to compare the knowledge of Samoan culture is like, it doesn't make sense. Yeah. Okay.
Change and taking up like...
I'm just going to go back.
Board positions, and what truly makes you Samoan is how you serve your family and how you serve your village. So if you're not doing any of those things, but you're operating in spaces like climate change and taking up like...
So this is where she gets, I feel like she's taking it on a personal note, like she's got an issue with somebody. I don't know who, but standing up for climate change stands up for Samoa. Samoa and the whole world face climate change. Especially being an island nation, we need to push for people to be more knowledgeable about how they are treating the climate so that we can have a place to live in the future. So that is actually tautua, that is giving back to your community. So I'm not actually sure where she's coming from here. It sounds like she's got a personal issue with somebody.
Board positions, and you're not doing the basic of serving your own...
Okay, so again, she's using Palangi systems. So if you're Samoan and you get placed into a position where it's specifically for Samoans, you're placed in that place because white systems make it so that we cannot choose for ourselves. A white person put us there. A white system made that system so that we can't govern ourselves. Does that make sense? So when you say they're putting any Samoan or Afakasi Samoan or whatever, you're actually aligning with the white mindset that they rule the world and what we should be doing. So if you are seeing that there are people in places that should not be there, you should be speaking up. Not on a podcast where you're putting down Samoans who are in places, but to those people. Not speaking down to them, but exercising your right of speech to tell them what they should be doing. Exercising your right of speech to tell the white systems that this is not working for you and this is something that needs to change. That is called politics. And that is where you need to speak up to these people. It's not about being Samoan, it's about politics. Okay.
Family in your village, that's not right to me. And I think too many Samoans.
Okay, so there are Samoans who are born to two parents. One parent is not Samoan, the other parent is Samoan. The child is still Samoan. They may not know their family from Samoa. They may not know their ainga back in Samoa. They may not have gone back to Samoa because they don't know anybody. So when you cut them out like that, it's not their fault. It's not their fault they don't know who their family is. When you cut them out like that, you're making it so that it's unwelcoming for them to even try to get to know their Samoan side. So it just defeats the purpose of trying to get your Samoans up and into these positions if you're then just going to cut them down because they're not who you think they should be. Yeah, okay.
New Zealanders do that, and they take up all these spaces. I'm probably going to go a bit further here. No offense to Afakasi, but mostly Afakasi people in like high positions that make decisions.
Okay, so I have a whole video I'm going to leave up here. It's all about how Afakasi are seen differently and where that all came from and where that all stems from, and then how that then leads to problematic terms like whiapalangi. So I think she might need to watch that video so she understands that. Yeah, okay.
They can get into those rooms because they know how to code switch. Good.
Again, code switching. So code switching, you're taught to code switch at a very young age, no matter where you are from. When my son was growing up in Samoa, he learned to code switch very, very easily. He learned that when he was with his grandfather at Vinny and his cousins were all there, he could speak Samoan, he could laugh and play and all of that. But then when he came home to me at Popota, he learned that my Samoan is not that great. So he's going to talk to me in English. And that code switching is taught to people at a very, very young age. I was taught to code switch because I grew up in a very strict Mormon family. So I knew that when I was at home or at any church events, make sure that I did not swear. But when I went to school, when I was outside with my friends, I would curse like a sailor. And that is code switching. Everyone does it. I don't see why it matters. Yes. And also, we live in a westernized country now. You got to learn to code switch in order to move forward. You've got to learn that not everyone is going to speak like you and not everyone is going to understand you. And so you learn and you grow. It doesn't mean you need to speak that way forever, but you need to code switch in order to grow. And yeah, it's not actually a bad thing. But yeah.
In and out, but they don't represent the people who truly need their help. And I think
the big problem here is that you think they don't represent. You don't know all of the people who represent you. When I was living in Samoa, we would have meetings and my co-workers would all be speaking politely and then afterwards they'll be laughing like hyenas and cracking jokes at everything. Code switching is not something that only white people do. Code switching is something that brown people do. Code switching is something that white people do. Code switching is everything. But I think I was talking about something else. What was I talking about? serving your community. So if you are not seeing the people that you think deserve to be in places, then that's not actually their fault. It is again the system's fault. The systems are set up so that white people are going to win. It's that simple. So if you're trying to say that these Samoans are there and they're not reaching their communities, I'm sure you will find that bureaucracy, funding, all of that are stopping them from actually doing the work that you think that they should be doing. Because I know in their hearts they probably know that that's what they should be doing, but they can't because the white systems have been in place to stop us. Because they don't want us to actually achieve what we want to do. They want it to look like they are achieving these goals. So again, you're blaming the wrong people. This is not about knowledge of Samoan culture. It is about politics.
It's a big problem. And it's not, I'm not saying to take them away, but it's to help bring others up with them as they move up.
And again, systems are there in place so that we are not going to achieve what we want to do. How are we going to help other people move up if there's no funding to help people up? How are we going to help people up if we are not in charge of hiring the people that are supposed to be in those places? Again, white systems, brown people, they're not made to work together yet.
So I feel like, New Zealand Samoans is to be humbled. And I feel like the best way to be humbled is to either go home, like send them back home, or have like...
Yes. So...
I don't know, someone do like a course or something where they can learn.
So... Not everyone can afford to go back and live in Samoa. The hourly wage in Samoa, the minimum hourly wage is $2. Unless you have degrees, unless you have your own business, I don't understand how people in Samoa live on $2 an hour. Yes. So, you say go back to Samoa, but that's just not going to happen. Majority of Samoans, if you look at the statistics, do not have tertiary degrees. They actually end up stopping school at high school and going to work so that they can help their families. I don't know. That to me is showing that they've got tautua and service for their family. That to me is showing that they're humble enough to know that they need to help their family. They don't actually have to go to Samoa to do that. Just my 2 cents. And not everyone has the time or the ability to access the courses that are available. So yeah, everyone's different, and judging a person by their ability to know a language and culture is wrong.
From home, from like real village teachings and how people there operate. But yeah, this.
Real village teachings, you would not be able to have a say right now if you were in a real village. You are not old enough to talk on behalf of anybody. So real village talk is you're at the back and you're serving us. Why are you talking?
Just my 2 cents.
On that, do you have any examples, like specifically in like?
Are you saying they're playing the brown card but not actually being about it?
Okay.
The brown card. So I don't know if you know this, but nobody can play the brown card and not be about it. Have you looked at your skin? Can you remove your color of your skin? No. So you're going to play the brown card is because you're brown. You can't change that. The brown card is there because your skin color is brown. Yeah.
Okay.
And I see it so many spaces, and they can tick boxes.
Yeah.
Like they can say, "Oh yeah, I do this, I do this." Palangis don't care. They just like we.
And I find that troublesome that she knows that the Palangis don't care, and these systems are in place because the Palangis don't care. And yet she's making it about the people who are in those places when it's actually the Palangi people who made these spaces so that it is not safe, so that it does not serve Samoan people. Who's that got an issue? I'm sure it's not the Samoan trying to help Samoans. I'm sure it's the white spaces, the white people who made these spaces and who made these systems so that it's just a tick box. Yeah.
Got our brown person. They're like, that's the brown person, and they don't really look into the work being done as much as they should. And then those people get these opportunities that don't.
Again, they're not looking at it because they've built this system so that our people don't succeed. The systems are there so we don't succeed. Think about it.
Don't really service the people they're trying to target.
Yeah.
So
I think just on that, you'll only get offended if you know it's you.
exactly.
No. People are going to get offended because, one, you've used blood quantum as a way to measure something that can't be measured. Being Samoan can't be measured. Trying to measure it through blood quantum is incorrect. It's a white system. You're complaining about the white system that's putting our Samoans up there and not doing anything, but you're using the white theories to then justify, and that doesn't make sense. No.
That's the only time you get offended, if you know that you're serving your community or your...
People serve their communities in many different ways. It's not just in politics, it's not just in business. You don't know how they serve their families.
You know, trying to learn about your culture in the ways that you just put, then you won't get offended. But just...
We're going to get offended because what you're saying is incorrect. Just saying.
sitting there like, oh, that's harsh.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's true though. And like we're as good as
just having the last name Schmidt already tells me that you are not 100% Samoan. So are you then just talking about yourself being Afakasi? Should you not be taking offense because you're Afakasi? Just asking.
how we work. We're only as good as how we work together and as good as the resources that we have. So if those resources aren't being given to the right...
Again, we're not getting the resources and we're not getting the services because these systems are made by the Palangi, and the Palangi do not want to see us succeed because that means that they're going to lose their control. Stop bringing down our own people and start talking about the white supremacist systems that are in place to stop our people from moving forward. The white supremacist systems that make us go against each other because we think we're more than or less than a person who is the same as us. The white supremacist thinking that we are less than white people. You've made all of your opinion is based on white supremacist thinking, white supremacist systems, and not traditional Samoan thinking and the community systems that we have in place. So yeah, manatu. thank you for listening. Hope that you like and subscribe to this channel. Yes, it's great for us to have our own opinions, and I love that this podcast has allowed these young people to do that, because in Samoa you probably wouldn't have had that opportunity if you went to Samoa right now. So what I'm saying is thank you. Maybe research and write down some of your thoughts before making your podcast so that you actually understand what you're saying. Because cultural knowledge and ties to Ainga are not what is putting our people in places. The white supremacist systems are putting our people there and then leaving them there and not allowing them to move or do anything else. That's what the issue is here. And that's politics. That is business. And not cultural knowledge or ties to Ainga. And I hope that you can see the difference. And that I'm not coming off as being mean, because I don't mean this in a mean way. I'm trying to teach. Yes. Okay. I think that's enough. Whakataitele lava, fast before.